Welcome everybody, my name is François Letarte for D30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. And a special video today. On this date, 10 years ago, I was making my first YouTube video. A journey that I still am in today. I still regularly post videos, more in French, way more in French than in English, but I'm still around. And it began 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago you would see me, I don't have it with me, but approach a 30-sided die on the screen and play a song. Well, the song was playing backward. And yeah, that's how it began. That video is in the description below. So I did want to share with you some thoughts, some memories, and how it came to be. I will name some of the people that inspired me too. So yes, how did this begin? Okay, back then, before putting videos, I was searching for a way to feed myself with role-playing game contents other than playing the game itself and reading the book. Just wanted to stay in connection with the passion and want to hear about it with passion. I was reading some blogs back then, but I didn't have that much time to get into all that reading that would satisfy me. I did want something more, and then discovered on YouTube that some people were talking about this. And it was fortunate enough because on my entourage, my co-workers, I could talk to them about role-playing games, but they just wouldn't respond with passion. They would be interested somehow, but and my fiance is the same. She likes role-playing game, but she's not highly passionate person about, well, she's not highly passionate about this. So yeah, so I did want to hear some people talk about this with passion, and way more than my gaming group, okay, which we were playing together. Of course, we were interested in role-playing games, they were, but I felt that maybe there might be some people who are just as passionate as me. The first channel I stumbled upon, it was Kurt Weigel and Game Geeks RPG. I was really into it. I was very happy to discover him, because back then some of the other videos I was finding out were just people angry about D&D 4th edition. So yeah, it was kind of a relief to see Kurt Weigel talk about all these role-playing games, and I think I've watched all of his videos. He's still making some of them today, but yeah, so Kurt Weigel, I really love this style, and it was very inspiring. Looking with Kurt at Kurt Weigel's stuff, some of the suggestions that YouTube threw to me. One of them, was Tim Harper, Samwise 7, and he's the one who really kind of pushed me around with his styles, with no editing, just him in front of the camera talking about stuff, okay, talking about game that he loves, flipping through a book, talking about his games and IDs, and it was very inspiring. And more than that, okay, he made me discover that I was going through a GM burnout. Okay, I was having it tough for role-playing game that year. Okay, maybe that's why I wanted to hear some passionate people to talk about this. But I was going through a GM burnout, and I discovered it by watching one of his videos, Tim Harper's video about GM burnout. And to tell the truth, he saved my role-playing life. Well, he helped me ease the pain and get me back into, yeah, I want to play. At some point I might have come back to play, but it might have been way longer if I haven't got myself with Tim Harper, which talked about that subject in a way no other I know would talk about this, and it would only come from someone like him getting, being passionate about role-playing games, and probably had got through that problem. So Tim Harper, you're the first to really have inspired me. We have yet to maybe chat together in video. I've thought about inviting you, but it might be another day. you know, I'm really looking forward someday to play with you, a one shot or something. We've talked about this once in a while, just didn't happen. But yeah, you're a very important person behind JDR30. So it's a big thank you. I might forget some of the others, but some of the people I really connected with that inspired me to start a channel too. Let's talk about Runeslinger and Tony. You know, I love this guy. Always right on point, always serious, always, you know, and still relevant today. So it's a, you know, this is a very serious channel. Once again, the guy is just in front of his camera, and you know, he really knows what he's talking about. Very big inspiration, and I had the great privilege to share a table with him on many occasions. So, and I'm looking forward for next time. And he knows it, but yeah, that is, you know, one of my first big inspiration was him. And another one who wasn't doing video when I began, but he had some of the videos on a channel, and I've discovered, and it was Ivan Knight 1968, which had quite a different style from what he's doing right now, but he was, well, kind of more direct and angry. But nevertheless, it was very relevant. It was very interesting to watch, and he was playing bass on the camera, so of course it connected with me. I'm a musician, I'm a role player, so and I found that he was very inspiring, so I followed him. And just to step forward with some of the events, you know, I've reached him with some questions, and from what I know, from what he told me, is that, you know, he kind of put his YouTube channels, you know, he have put all of these videos and then stopped because he had other matters to take care of. And at some point, probably, I think it was kind of just by curiosity, watch his channel to see if something went on, and he saw one of my message and he responded. So, and he made a video about this, and that's where he came back. So I'm very proud to have got him back, because, you know, Ivan came with lots of good stuff, you know, lots of good videos, good reflections, and I played with him. So we played with Anthony and all that. I had the chance to play with him in some one-shots too, that when I was running some online conventions. And you know, I'm very glad to have met him. You know, I had the occasion to see him in person. We had to go around where he lived, so I had that great occasion to see him and hang with him, and that was a great pleasure. Okay, so yeah, he inspired me indirectly into making this channel, to say, okay, let's do this. So I've thought all about it. You know, I want a YouTube channel talking about role-playing games, and I had something in mind. It was that game, Advanced Fighting Fantasy. That was my big crush back then. It was my big discovery. This was back then my favorite role-playing games of all time. It's still high in my top game. You know, I'm still looking forward maybe someday to start a game. Just want to have the right mix of people to get into that, which is another subject. But I didn't want to, my goal was to talk about this game, and, you know, sharing stuff about sharing stuff about that game, talking about how it works and all of that, because there was not much about this game back then. So I did want people to know the good news about this game. And I did a couple of videos about that, but it rapidly came with more subjects. Yeah, something you might have noticed, I'm a French-speaking person, and at the same time I was putting some videos in English, I had some videos in French, and many of them, of my first few videos, were just the same video, but the English and the French version. Okay, so So yeah, because when I began to with this channel, I did want to share in video stuff with you. I was already in written form exchanging with some of you, but you know, the video, I felt that it was the right way to really exchange with passionate person on YouTube with video responses and all that. And I did really want to get in touch with the English community, the people I've mentioned, and some others that I don't remember right now, but they were very important. But something was missing in YouTube from my point of view. These were the French videos talking about le jeu de rôle. Yes, there wasn't much around. Okay, I was searching hard for them. What I found out, there was a kind of video game channel from Quebec province where they had a playlist of them playing some sort of a D20 version of World of Warcraft, which I followed. It was a kind of an actual play in their kitchen, you know, playing on their kitchen table, which was, well, it was very fun to follow. And there was that guy, you know, that I don't know personally, but I know because he mentioned it. He was living in the city, you know, not far from where I live. And he was the only one. He was a vlogger. You know, he was just in front of his camera talking about Dungeons and Dragons, talking about character classes and builds and all that stuff. And I was very interested. So I said, okay, I'll jump in the bandwagon. I'm ready to do it in French. And also, you remember them, Same Old G and Null Inquisitor was around, but they were doing stuff in English, which inspired me too. Same Old G was a big inspiration for me, and big inspiration to do it in French. Yeah, I think Same Old G was the one. Yeah, have some French role-playing. He once made a video in French saying, hey, je veux voir des Français. And I responded by saying, I'll be doing that soon. And that's what happened. So there was Same Old G, Null Inquisitor. Null Inquisitor at some point became with the French channel for a long time and doing with an English channel at the same time. But these were guys, you know, from my province in Canada. So they'd want to do it in French. So the first few videos where I was editing a little bit with the music and the D30 and all that. And probably many of you remember when we switched to Vimeo. Yeah. Oh, I remember. I just threw some names. The Outsider 68. I really like that guy. And he did follow on Vimeo. And that's where I decided to vlog in a more casual style without the editing. Just wanted to talk to the camera, you know, getting outside from trying to teach people or make serious reviews of games, because I didn't have the time, and I discovered in a more casual style just talking on video was something I was searching for. So I did that year with Vimeo with you guys. We did just stop at some point using Vimeos, coming back to YouTube for some of us. And when I came back to YouTube, I was still trying to do videos in French with editing and all that. But at some point I just decided, no, let's just vlog. And I started a series of video that is still running today. And by the way, it's been 10 years today. And that series of French videos, French vlogging videos called Vidéolist, I did the 1000th video of that series, of that playlist, kind of yesterday. So yeah, it's a double celebration for me. And well, that's where I departed from doing stuff in English. Why? It's because I have inspired a lot of people into doing it. Even though I wasn't the first, I've named that guy, and well, by the way, that guy that is living not far from me, that I mentioned a little earlier, I didn't know what happened to him. You know, at some point he stopped doing videos and never heard of him again. And I'm really looking forward to to see him, to see what happened to him. Now, once in a while, I ask the question to the French communities to see, hey, do you remember that guy? Where he is? Okay, I'd like to talk to him, just talking about role-playing games. But yeah, when I decided to be more casual vlogger, that's where I departed from doing stuff in English. It was unfortunate because I really enjoy exchanging with you guys, really a lot, but I didn't have that much time. Okay, didn't have more time to listen to YouTube videos, so I was having a hard time being up to date with what was going on, what sort of conversation. So when I'm coming, and I do come once in a while with an English videos, but when I'm coming, it's more of a monologue. Okay, that I don't publish directly on my channel, since I don't want to confuse, well, the big French following that I have. And I've inspired a lot of people. The French community, I'm considered to be the elder of the movement, the first, even though it's not true. There were people before me, but to be that regular, that being faithful to my viewers and being regular, I'm considered to be an important figure. They never wanted to have any sort of title or recognition. I just wanted to vlog, and it's kind of warming it's warming my heart to know that a lot of people were inspired by me, and not only in Canada, Quebec province, but also in Europe, in France. Even have some French-speaking people from other countries in Africa and all that. That I knew that, well, I don't know if it's Africa, but there were some other French-speaking people that are mentioning me as being their inspiration. So yeah, the French community is getting very strong and stronger and stronger and very enthusiastic. And what is good about this one is because, well, a lot of the ones I know are from Quebec province, and we do hang together 2 or 3 times a year. We do get to parties together, we do get to conventions together. So we came to know each other and just see ourselves and share more than on videos, but in real life. And that feels good. So yeah, you guys, well, I might announce you something. You are the one who created the French community. You didn't know that? Well, you did, because you inspired me to do that. And on the first day I decided to go in French, but it was all because of you. Yeah, guys, that very enthusiastic French role-playing game French community on YouTube was created because you inspired me. So yeah, you are the one who kind of contributed to this big thing, which is the French RPG community. I like to be more up to date and have more conversations and do more stuff in English, but I don't have that much time on my hand. I have just enough stuff to check out just in French. So very interesting stuff, very interesting people, inspiring ones, creative ones. There are some of them who are writing songs about role-playing games, that are making montage, making some acting in their videos. There's a lot of things going on, and they kind of refer to me as being their inspiration. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. Thank you for having been there back when I started. The exchanges we had together were very encouraging, and I'm still looking forward to communicate with you, the one I've mentioned, and some of the others that I just forget. But you can leave a comment just to remember the good old times when we were exchanging on role-playing games, and what have been what have you been doing since then, and then what is going on. And yeah, so 10 years. So it's been a little longer than I thought. This video, this was a vlogging about me 10 years ago, sitting right here to tell you about my passion, and it's still going on. So what is the future is, what is in the future for me? Well, still more vlogging. I don't know if I'll be that regular. It's always a case of inspiration, but at the same time, you know, I'm getting involved into music projects, so I wish something that hasn't really happened since mostly 12 years. I've been in music projects, but one, you know, that I want to be really involved, so I might do a little less video. We'll see. You know, it's all a matter of inspiration, and if I have something to say, some in English, I really don't know, and it's not because I don't want to, it's because I don't have that much time, which I've mentioned a couple of times before in that present video. But I'm really looking forward to chat with you a little bit. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to say. Thank you for watching. François Le Tarte for JDR D30, and up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.